Do you know why the American flag is red, white, and blue? This is the back of a dollar bill. Do you know what these symbols are? Do you know who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance or why we say it? America has lots of symbols. Americans celebrate our country in many ways. Let's learn about the symbols of America. The American flag is one of our country's most important symbols. Where did the first American flag come from and when? Here's the story. The story of the American flag begins a long time ago in colonial America. At that time, America was made up of 13 colonies that belonged to England. Each colony was separate and independent. The people living in the colonies, called colonists, had complaints about King George III and the government in England. They wanted more of a say in how they were governed. Some colonists staged protests against the king. In response, the king sent troops to keep order, but the situation got more violent. In April of 1775, a small band of colonists called militiamen faced off against an army of British soldiers called Redcoats. 1 month later, representatives or delegates from the colonies met in Philadelphia. The delegates of the Continental Congress agreed that there should be one American army made up of soldiers from all the colonies. So they created the Grand American Army. Who was made the commander-in-chief of the army? I bet you know his name. It was George Washington. Washington and Benjamin Franklin led a committee to design a flag for the army, one that would represent all the colonies. What they came up with is a flag that had 13 stripes, one for each of the 13 colonies. The British flag, known as the Union Jack, was placed in the upper left-hand corner. It showed the relationship between the colonies and England. You see, the colonies were still part of England, and what the colonists wanted and were fighting for were their rights as Englishmen. About a year later, on July 4th, 1776, the American colonies declared their independence from England. Now the new country needed a flag of its own, a flag that would be a symbol of liberty and freedom. Who made the first flag? Well, tradition says that Betsy Ross of Philadelphia sewed the first flag, but nobody really knows for sure. On June 14, 1777, Congress passed a resolution creating the flag.